This is a common sight that you're seeing in IPL 2025. Umpires are checking whether the bat dimensions that the batter has is according to the rule and whether he's not breaking the law. Now, why is suddenly this bat measurement thing going viral? Why is it that the IPL 2025 has decided that, okay, this is the time when we are going to ensure that there is going to be an equal balance between bat and ball? Now, I'll tell you a timeline. I'll tell you the bat specifications. I'll tell you the sanctions. I'll tell you why this is causing some problems and why this step was taken. Now, the first major thing, when did IPL decide to check the bats of everybody? The key date here, this decision that the umpires would check the bats was ratified on April 13th. It was decided by that time that, okay, let us ensure that we check everybody's bat. And so far, 2 batters have been found guilty of breaching it, Sunil Narain and Anrich Nortje. The decision was clearly taken for the simple fact that maintaining bat and ball balance and no undue advantage with big bats. The carnage that we witnessed in 2024 in the IPL ensured that yes, it can't go on, justice for bowlers has to be there, and because of that, this step was taken. Now, this measuring of bats is not new. It has happened in the past in the IPL. It has been happening in the county circuit in England. So essentially in the IPL, what used to happen? 4th umpire measured bat dimensions on day before the match. There is this clear-cut explanation that has been given by ESPN Cricinfo also as to how they go about checking the entire process. Not all bats of players were checked. Now, this is the major change that has happened. Not all the bats of the players were checked, and batter could have one bat tested and walk in with another. One bat was picked. So suppose if that bat contravened the laws, no problem, I'll get a second one. That has now changed. The key difference from the earlier process to the one that is now in IPL 2025 is umpires will now check the bats during the match rather than in training. So what would the player do? Okay, in training if the bat was bigger, only one bat was checked, no problem. I have 7-8 bats, I'll use the others. Officials privately express concern over bat size of player, and that is why, because they express that concern, uniform testing, complete testing of all the bats on match day, and there would be no randomness. Everybody's bats would be checked. Now, you have to understand that in cricket there is a dimension that is listed out for the bat. If you look at MCC rule 5.7.2, these are the bat dimensions, the blade of the bat dimensions. Width has to be 10.8 centimeters or 4.25 inches. Depth has to be 2.64 inches or 6.7 centimeters. Edges have to be 1.56 inches or 4 centimeters. So 10.8 width, 6.7 depth, 4 edges. Now, this is the device. This is the gauge. And the gauge has been made in accordance with rule 5.2.7 with the same dimensions. This includes reparations and other kind of materials also that can be on the bat under the permitted rules. So this bat has to pass through this gauge, and this gauge has been prepared according to the proportions which is there in article 5.7.2 in the MCC. Now, how do the checks happen? Teams with the bat gauges so players can check. The teams are also equipped with the bat gauges, so they themselves can check whether or not it is exceeding the limit. On-field umpires, 4th umpire in coordination, tasked with checking both openers' bats. Now, this is the major thing. Now, not just the fourth umpire, even the on-field umpire can check, and even there will be a double check from the fourth umpire. That is why you have seen two players fall prey to this. But this has actually thrown people into turmoil. As you can see here, this is the current situation which is there. What are the sanctions? Now, according to the ESPN Cricket 4 report, they tried to reach out to the IPL officials, but there are no official word of the sanctions yet. However, there is a huge problem in county cricket. If a player's bat, if certain players' bat in a team exceeds the dimensions, the team's points get docked. The classic case was Essex last year. 12 points were docked because some of the players had failed in the bat measurement. And that is why straight out ECB, 12 points docked. But nothing of that sort has come in the IPL yet. But what are the challenges now? Suddenly the BCCI diktat and the IPL diktat has said that, okay, there will not be any random testing, it will be comprehensive, complete testing. This has thrown the batters into a tizzy. You're seeing that 250, 260 has not been able to be made so easily in the IPL now, as it was made in 2024. Batters are caught off guard. Checking all bats is actually a trouble area because now they cannot get away with it. The dimensions have to be to the T. But this has actually caused a problem to the overseas batters because most of the batters that you check in India, their bat manufacturers happen here. But what about the overseas batters whose batters are not manufactured in India? Those bats in India and the bats that are manufactured overseas have some kind of a difference. So the overseas batters are actually finding it hard through this gauge experiment. So that is why when you look at it, this experiment has been conducted so that there is a balance between bat and ball. Umpires, on-field and fourth umpire have to now get involved in this in a big way. But the one problem in this entire experiment is no mention of sanctions. The ESPN Cricket 4 report stated that they tried to talk to IPL officials, but they did not mention what are the nature of the sanctions. So that is one deterrent. If you have this rule, are they planning to have some sanctions for 2026? Or is there something much more at play? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.